Sanchez, one of the great trainers. Leo Kolinsky is with him. That's the manager of Konstantin Pономарёв. Pономарёv had 100 amateur fights, and he's a top-ranked fighter. Big prospect for Top Rank. Turned pro in Russia in April of 2010, won all of his professional fights ever since. Along the way, he picked up the Baltic title, the WBC youth title. May of 2015, he won the NABF welterweight title against Mikhail Zuzki for that title. He defended that against Brad Solomon by unanimous decision a year ago in Las Vegas. And now here comes Edward Paredes. Paredes comes in here with 37, 6-1 record, 24 knockouts. BoxRec has him at 38, 6-1 with 25 KOs. He was born in Lawrence, Mass, but he lives in Pembroke Pines, Florida. He turned pro in Florida in February of 2002 with a TKO win over Thomas Subia. Went on to win 11 of his first 12 pro fights. All right, we're set to go. Lupe Contreras is standing by, so we'll get this one underway. Here's Lupe.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our next bout of the evening here at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. Once again being brought to you by Hall of Fame boxing promoter Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, along with La Cerveza Tecate Born Bold. This bout, a distance of 8 rounds or less in the super welterweight division. The judges are Max DeLuca, Thomas Corazon, and Waleska Roldan. At the sound of the bell, the man in charge, referee Sean Clark. Introducing first, the fighter standing in the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing red, silver, and blue and weighed in at an official 149.5 pounds. He enters the ring undefeated as a professional with 31 victories. 13 of those victories coming by way of KO. The reigning NABF welterweight champion tonight in a non-title bout, fighting out of Minsk, Russia, Konstantin Pономарёв. Across the ring in the red corner, wearing white with black, he weighed in at 150.25 pounds. In 44 pro bouts, he has 37 victories against 6 losses, 1 draw, 24 of those victories coming by way of KO. Fighting out of Pembroke Pines, Florida, Edward the Lion Paredes.
All right, fellas, y'all had your instructions in the dressing room. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up.
All right, so we are set to go here as we stream live on TopRank.com. The Colonel Bob Sheridan here. This is a scheduled 8-round welterweight fight against Konstantin Pономарёv and Edward Paredes. Paredes has 37 victories. Pономарёv, 31 victories. Both of these guys excellent boxers. Paredes is pretty heavy-handed. He's got 24 knockouts.
Seconds out!
Pономарёv, has 13. So here we go. In the white trunks is Paredes, and Konstantin has the red, the silver, and blue on his trunks. Pономарёv has got a terrific jab, good body work. Paredes, as I mentioned, is heavy-handed. He can bang with 24 KOs in his 37 victories. He's had only 6 losses. In his last 6 fights, he's 3-3. 3 of his wins are in Colombia, and he lost 3 in the United States. As a boxer, the book on Paredes, he's a boxer with some pop with the 24 KOs. Always in shape. He's aggressive. But again, it's a tall order because Pономарёv has such a big pedigree in the amateurs, and he can fight, and he's tough. Boxing book on Konstantin Pономарёv. Pure boxer, good skills, natural quickness, high work rate, solid uppercuts. And he's working on his power, staying busy. 14 fights in 2013, since 2013. great sparring over the years as well, working with Ruslan Provednikov up there in Abel Sanchez's gym. Big Bear in California. Some altitude there too, so the fighters will learn to train in that thin air. That's something we'll talk about. Christina Honcha visited Terrence Crawford's training camp in Colorado Springs. I'll let her tell you the story about that. Pономарёв in the multicolored trunks in the white is Paredes. This is round 1. It's scheduled for 8. Unified rules of boxing, 10-point must-scoring system, no standing, 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Only the referee can stop the fight if we get into any accidental fouls. I'll explain the rules to you as it becomes pertinent. Long looping right hand by Paredes. Both of these fighters, all business. Paredes would love to be able to knock out Pономарёв, because Pономарёv is the fighter that's getting a lot of publicity right now, in that he's with Top Rank and that he's undefeated and that he's in a very good division, the welterweight division, that has guys like Manny Pacquiao, Jeff Horn, Keith Thurman, Jesse Vargas, Tim Bradley, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, all 147 pounders. And speaking of the Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn, they're doing battle Top Rank July 2nd in the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, Australia. Manny Pacquiao and Jeff Horn at stake, the WBO World Welterweight Championship. That's something you won't want to miss in Top Rank Boxing. They've already sold out 55,000 tickets for that fight. This is Pономарёv's corner. Abel Sanchez, Leo. Pономарёv won his last fight over Silverio Ortiz in Las Vegas. That was last November. And Paredes, as Stephanie parades around the ring, telling us round 2's coming up, had a win last November. A unanimous decision over Jose Barrio in Barranquilla in Colombia.
Box!
I thought Pономarёv did more in the first round. I gave him that round 10-9. Here we move to round number 2. Pономарёv in the red with the blue, silver down the side. Paredes with his 37 victories and 24 knockouts. And not a cakewalk for Pономarёv by any way, shape, or manner at all. This kid could fight. The fighter has been shaken. Pономarёv, real clean-cut looking kid. Paredes, a real cut body. He's in great shape for this fight, as is Pономarёv. Anybody that comes out of Abel Sanchez's training camps is in great shape. He won't mess around with a guy that doesn't want to train and be in shape, take the nutrition serious and all of that. You got to be a professional to be in his camp. Of course, the recent best example is Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Round 2, we're in Madison Square Garden in New York City. And I'll continue to remind you that coming up at 10:15 on HBO is the Terrence Crawford against Felix Diaz Super Lightweight Championship of the World at stake. Counter left hand that time by Paredes. Paredes getting the jab through a little bit of redness now in the face of Constantine Pономарёv. Doubles, triples, and jab does Pономарёv. It's one of those fights where I think the matchmakers want to find out just how good Pономарёv is, because Paredes is a solid fighter. He's 32 years of age, and Pономarёv is only 24. The height's the same at 5'10". The weight's about the same. The reach is exactly the same. So the only difference is Pономarёv is 8 years younger. Everything else exactly the same. Pономarёv feints, and then he plants the left hand in the chest. At least he gets a piece of Paredes. Paredes hanging that left hand down now. And Pономarёv goes immediately with the work with his right hand, realizing he's got that down. You see that? It's 2 solid shots in a row with that right hand because he was hanging that left. We're in the closing seconds now of round 2. And Konstantin Pономarёv has had another good boxing round. Not a lot of difference between them. Nobody's shaking, but the bell ends round 2, and I think Konstantin won that round as well. So far tonight, the fights that have gone to the scorecard were right in line with the judges. They know what they're doing here in New York City judging fights. Find New York, Nevada, Texas, Florida, California, places where there are a lot of boxing that the judging is better than places where they're not. Another good place that is very good boxing judging is Massachusetts. Where there's a lot of boxing, they have good judges and good referees.
Box!
All right, here we go. This is round number 3. Again, it's scheduled for 8 rounds. Konstantin Pономарёв trying to put the pressure on Edward Paredesa. Paredesa has come to fight, though. He's not here to roll over, and he doesn't consider himself an opponent at all for Pономarёv. A little abrasion by the right eye of Pономarёv, and a little bit puffy by the right eye, too, of Pономarёv. All business on the look on the face of both fighters. Konstantin tries to get him into the corner, sneak up on him, and he wants to fire that right hand. As he's landed it pretty well on at least 3 occasions in the last round. That time he just beat Paredesa to the punch with the left hand, that overhand right. See, that's got a home because of the way Paredesa carries that left hand down. Now he brings it up, and Pономarёv wants to go to work with his left hand. Now it's down again. Watch the right. Now, there it is, right there. Switched around to southpaw for just a second here. Loads up the left hand in the southpaw stance. Now he's back to the orthodox style. I'm trying to recall I've seen Pономarёv do that before, or maybe he was just caught in between and stayed southpaw a couple of seconds there until he could get himself back into the orthodox stance. Jab, 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 misses downstairs. Boy, Paredesa set down on that uppercut. Didn't quite catch Pономarёv. Getting that jab through there is Paredesa. Enough to cause puffiness around the eyes. Paredesa is right in every single round, but the cleanest shots are being landed by Pономarёv, and that's about the only difference in the rounds. That one kind of whistles past the nose. Pономarёv misses himself. Pономarёv moving his head coming in, so it's a little harder for Paredesa to flick with those shots coming in. You see how many he misses? The movement of the head. A little bit better round for Paredesa, but in the closing seconds of the third, I can't give him the round. Pономarёv outboxed him in that. Abel Sanchez working on the puffiness around that right eye of Pономarёv. Watch Pономарёв here. Jab, jab. Downstairs. Nice stiff jab. Nice stiff jab. Hard shot to the body. And that's why I scored that round for Pономарёv, because he's just landing more punches. And his Paredes, a good fighter, 37-6-1, 24 knockouts. And Boxrec has him at 38-6-1 with 25 knockouts. So here we go to round number 4 in the Schedule 8 round affair in the welterweight division. And again, the welterweight division, a good one. Pacquiao, Jeff Horn, Keith Thurman. Keith just had surgery on his elbow, so he's going to be out of action for at least 6 months. Jesse Vargas, Timothy Bradley, Harold Spence, John Porter. Round number 4 so far, very similar to the first 3 rounds of the fight. Pономарёv got clipped with the left hook that time. Replants himself and tries to land a couple of power shots himself. Nice uppercut on the inside by Paredes. The heads.
Watch the head, babe. Time and box.
Ref says, you know, watch the heads, guys. Came together. There's an abrasion actually on the forehead of Pономarёv, but I don't believe there's a cut. I can't really tell. I'm trying to look as close as I can, but it's hard to tell that there is an abrasion there where the heads came together. Hard body shots that time. Is that left hook behind the right elbow of Paredes, and if he can score that a few more times when Paredes reaches out with that right hand, that's the one that's in the area of the liver, and that can be very punishing. Instead he goes upstairs with a nice left hook, hard body shot downstairs. Nice counter by Paredes, but not much on it. He's shaking his head no, and Pономарёv takes advantage and lands 2 or 3 hard shots. Paredes comes back and lands 1 good shot and misses the second. Nice movement on the feet by Pономарёv here. Touching him up all the time, getting a little piece of him. A little frustrating for Paredes because he hasn't been able to land some big shots. He's only landed 1 or 2 in the entire fight. And we're in the closing seconds now. This is the 4th round. And it's just another round where Pономarёv has just outboxed him. This fight's shaping up the same way Gabnazarov defeated Moras in the last fight. Just winning the rounds, just outboxing. Show you a little back and forth here, though. Pономarёv landed about 4 shots in the 5 or 6 that he threw. And he got clipped by 1 solid shot, so, you know, he's just outscoring. Again, it's scored 40-36 with Pономarёv winning them all so far. Haven't been able to give a round to Paredes. So what does Paredes have to do in the second half of this fight? This is an 8-round fight. He's got to turn up the pace a little bit and try to pressure Konstantin Pономarёv. Pономarёv in the red with the blue trim, silver down the sides, and the white trunks is Edward Paredes. Paredes going backwards again. That isn't the way to pressure Konstantin Pономarёv. Just double jabs in there, downstairs. Pономарёв is still the ring general, though. He's dictating when they engage. He comes in now, a couple of light blows. But Paredes has got to take over and dictate. See, Pономарёv has got that nice movement to the head. He makes him miss, and that's a problem for Paredes. The time he loaded up, took a chance, didn't quite catch him. See the positioning of Pономарёv just outside the hit zone. Pономарёv takes a little dip, scores to the right hand. Presses, hey, keep it clean. Keep it nice and clean, guys. And it's been a clean fight. The heads have come together, but ref right on top of it. Body shot that time a little bit on the low side. But on the other hand, Paredes has got his protected a little bit on the high side. The ref doesn't say anything. Slinging right hand that time by Paredes, and he needs to do more of that. Shifting side to side, moves the body, dips, comes inside, bangs him underneath that right elbow again. Right uppercut. Now it's Constantine that's trying to pick up the pace. We're in the 5th round of this scheduled 8-round affair, and he's putting all the pressure on Paredes. And this is what I said at the start of the round, that Paredes better start doing if he wants to start winning some rounds. Because unless he can catch Constantine with something big and knock him down, it's going to take at least a knockdown to get back into this fight. Konstantin Pономарёv has won this round as well with 30 seconds to go, about 30 seconds. Straight right hand again. Pономарёv has just landed so many more clean punches than is Paredes, and the reason for that is Paredes doesn't move his head. He's not as quick on his feet as Constantine is, and he just walks straight in. No head movement, no head movement. So that gives Constantine a chance to load up his shots. He's willing to engage as the bell ends the 5th round. Pономарёv again, just outboxes him. Can you brighten that up a bit? Can you brighten that up a bit? Nice and bright that is.
Seconds out! Box!
All right, here we go. This is round number 6, scheduled for 8. Madison Square Garden, New York City. I'm the Colonel Bob Shorten. We're streaming on TopRank.com. And don't forget, World Championship Boxing coming up on HBO at 10:15. Terrence Crawford versus Felix Diaz. Super Lightweight Championship of the World. That's the big one when we go internationally around the world. And this one, Konstantin Pономарёv, and my score sheet has won all 5 of the first 5 rounds. But each round is interesting and entertaining. Paredes is a tough guy. He hasn't been down. He hasn't been shaken. Tries to double the jab. He has a tendency not to move his head enough, and Pономарёv moves his just enough to make Paredes miss. Has that little dip when he comes in. Right eye puffy of Constantine, and I can't tell if there's a slit by the right eye, but it's certainly puffy below his right eye. That's from the jab, of course, of Paredes getting through. The ref has told him to watch the heads on a couple of occasions as they have come together. This is the 6th round of a scheduled 8-round affair here in Madison Square Garden in New York City. The crowd's still coming in. Main international card is coming up. We've got one more for our streaming fights, and then we go live around the world on our international telecast. And HBO comes on at 10:15 with the Terrence Crawford fight and the Ray Beltran fight. A little feint that time by Pономарёв. That's something that Paredes could do. Remember, Paredes 38-6-1, 25 knockouts. He's a good fighter. Pономарёв has been able to handle everything he's thrown at him so far. Just landing cleaner blows, more blows, catches him with a left hook. The right hand slings past the head, catches him with the left hand. That's a solid right up on the cheek. And then one firing shot of Paredes. And that's kind of the way Paredes has been fighting the fight. He'll throw a hellacious shot, and then he'll back off. Constantine again has found a spot for that right hand, and a little bit over anxious when he throws it wild and loopy like that. All he has to do is put out his left hand and hold down the left hand of Paredes, and he can catch him anytime he wants. Left hook, and we're inside of 10 seconds to go in the 6th round. Nice solid left hook that time by Constantine. That ends the 6th. Pономарёv outboxes him again. 60-54, a shutout for Pономарёv on my score sheet with 2 rounds to go. This round will kind of show you why Pономарёv is winning the fight. It's all Pономarёv. Look at this. The amount of punches, the heaviness of the punches, and every once in a while one punch will get through off the hands of Paredes. Abel Sanchez works on his charge. Konstantin Pономарёv. Aronov is from Mias in Russia. And he joins the other Eastern European guys that Abel Sanchez has in his camp up there at Big Bear in California. So we move to round number 7. I'm the Colonel Bob Sheridan. As I mentioned, Christina Pancha will be joining us for the main international show coming up in a little while. And right now our principal's in there, Edward Paredes. 37 victories, 25 KOs. It's a boxing show, there's no question about that. The last fight between Moras and Gabnazarov was just like this. It's not bringing the crowd to any frenzy of excitement, but it's good boxing. But I assure you, before the night's over, the crowd will be in a frenzy. Young Felix Diaz is from the Dominican Republic. Terrence Crawford is from Omaha, Nebraska. Crawford brings the crowd with him. But there should be a lot of Dominicanos here cheering for Felix Diaz, who won a gold medal in the Olympics. Pономарёv continues to work, continues to land, continues to press the action, continues to be aggressive, continues to move the head and duck and bob and make Paredes miss.
Turning that
I mean, Paredes is going to beat all, journeyman fighters, but this kid is a different kettle of fish as he goes southpaw for the moment. That's the second time he's done that in this fight. And he's landing powerful shots with his left hand. Now he's squared up, so I don't know whether he's orthodox or well, he's back orthodox now with that left foot forward. But that's the second time I've seen him go southpaw. Nice uppercut, bounces the head back. Maybe Paredes is beginning to get broken down now in the 7th round. He's been on the receiving end of a lot of shots during this fight. once in a while, he'll do exactly that. He'll get a nice jab through or a decent hook. But the vast majority of the punches are being thrown and landed by Pономарёв. I said a couple of rounds ago that if Paredes really wants to win this fight, and I know he really wants to win the fight, but if he's going to win the fight, he had to turn it up a notch, and he hasn't been able to do that. Instead, he looks like he might be fading just a bit. Pономарёв continues to pepper him with shots.
Stop at the bell.
And here comes the bell to end round number 7.
Time!
That's another Pономарёv. So going to the 8th round, I got a shutout again. Paredes, you know, it's landed pot shots throughout the course of the evening, and here's one for you. He snaps the head back, but nothing behind it. Boom. See, that's a really nice punch. But then he kind of steps back and admires it. Coming up to round 8, the 8th and final round. Fracio Gonzalez, Lenny De Jesus, William Urena. So we get set to go to the 8th and final round here at Madison Square Garden as we stream on TopRank.com. Before our international show, we have one more lightweight fight, a 6-rounder between Ronald Rivas and Teofimo Lopez III. A straight right hand by Paredes with malice aforethought. Ref again warns about the heads coming together, and they have clashed on a couple of occasions. See how tough Pономарёв is now, because Paredes knows he needs a knockout to win this fight. Loads up the right hand, and it just whistles past the jaw of Konstantin Pономarёv. Pономarёv not fazed by it at all. He's still the aggressor, still coming forward. Still comes in, moving the head, throwing a lot of punches. Every once in a while, Paredes will land a counter shot like that, but that's a real straight right hand that he caught him with. And usually when a fighter shakes his head like Paredes did that time, he's, nah, it didn't hurt me. You can be sure it did hurt him. Otherwise, why would he react any more than any other punch? Because he felt. Back and forth, the movement of Paredes trying to avoid the combination of punches that Pономарёv has scored throughout the course of this fight. Paredes still showing, with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go now in the fight, not showing any urgency. Neither fighter has been down. Nobody's been shaken. Both guys are puffy around the eyes. Been a clean fight. Ref's done a terrific job keeping it so. As the heads have clashed on a couple of occasions, but no cuts as a result. Pономарёv just a consistent amount of clean punches. Better accuracy with his punches, and defensively moves his head well. Looping right hand gets by. Abrasion beside that right eye, and the puffiness underneath the right eye of Pономарёv, but that's not significant. Nice solid right hand, and another right hand by Pономарёv. Then the right uppercut. Paredes kind of smiles at him as to say, "No, you haven't hurt me." And the fact of the matter is, he hasn't hurt him any place but on the scorecards. Inside of 10 seconds to go now in the fight, and Pономarёv is outboxing again in this 8th and final round. My score sheet is going to be a complete shutout for Pономarёv. Right hand right at the bell. I scored it 80-72, the same as the last fight involving Agustin Moraz and Fazlidin Gabizinarov. And as you take a look at the summary, you'll see pretty much what I've been describing for you. It's mostly Konstantin Pономарёв, and every once in a while Paredes does land a punch, but nothing that was strong enough to drop him. See, backed him up a little bit that time, but look at the amount of punches that Pономарёв is landing and throwing. It's triple the, the output. A nice, one punch at a time Paredes lands, and of his 24 KOs and 25 KOs by BoxRec, it's that one punch that he throws that he's been knocking out journeyman fighters. But Konstantin Pономарёv is not a journeyman fighter. He's a world-class fighter, and that's the difference, because Pономарёv was able to outbox him throughout the course of the fight. So again, I scored at 80-72, complete shutout for Pономарёv, and I'd be hard-pressed to see any round that the judges could give the Paredes, but we'll wait and see. Coming up after this, Ronald Rivas and Teofimo Lopez III will do battle. And don't forget, World Championship Boxing on HBO at 10:15. Terrence Crawford, Felix Diaz for the Super Lightweight Championship of the World at 140 pounds. All right, our ring announcer, Lupe Contreras, is standing by. I had it 80-72. Let's see how the real judges had it. Here's Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, after going the distance of 8 rounds here at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, all 3 judges are in agreement, turning in identical scorecards of 78-74. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Still undefeated, Konstantin Pономарёв.
So the judges had it a little bit closer than I had it, but insignificant. They gave Paredes some round along the way there, I don't know where. But Konstantin Pономарёv has won the fight by unanimous decision, so his record moves to 32-0. The kid from Russia looks to be a good one, and we'll see more of him on Top Rank Boxing.